In the words of Hadaway,
What is love?
what is love? You know, what is it? Well, I think the smartest place to discover what love truly is on today's subreddit, Tinder. Starting with this surprise microphone and also this gentleman. All right. Okay. First Tinder story. Matched with a girl who works at my local cafe, but not gonna lie, there's another girl there who I think is stunning. Now I'm wondering if I'm a shot, which I think means if I've got a shot, or even if I'll ever be able to walk in there humbly ever again. So he's on Tinder. It says, yeah, the girls were all talking about it as blank for some reason when I went in. Well, happy birthday. Mwah! That's what the X means. A little beso, okay? A little kiss, okay? Oh, really? It's been like that recently. They talk about my new tattoo and stuff too. But thank you. Mwah! Just a little bass, a little kiss. Yeah, they're all obsessed with you in there. Dude, these two people talking to each other like Beavis and Butthead. Hold on, let me find some footage. Did I surprise microphone yet? I don't know if I officially did it. So surprise microphone! Yeah, this is pretty much their conversation with each other. What? You're the hot guy. Okay, so we got a guy who goes into a cafe on a regular basis. He matched with one girl from the cafe. He's matching with her. They're clearly flirting. They're exchanging besos back and forth. That means kisses. And now he's thinking to himself, but not gonna lie, there's another girl there who I think is stunning. So why would you match with this girl, dude? You match with somebody when your target, for lack of a better word, is somebody else? What's the matter with you, dude? And also, you're learning that they're all obsessed with you in there. You're known as the hot guy who goes into the coffee shop. You are destined for misery and woe if you continue down this path, young man. Oh, misery and woe! So this dude is like, he's too big for his britches now. You know what I'm saying? He's got the confidence, knowing that whenever he goes in there, he's Mr. Captain Hot, and he's leading this girl on in a way, hoping he can get with her more attractive friend in his mind, which is, why he's coming here, why he's coming on r/Tinder. God, to be known as the hot guy somewhere you go, to be told that you're known as the hot guy, the way my head would inflate to a literal hot air balloon. Dude, I'd be walking into that freaking coffee shop like... Just imagine a giant balloon head on me. It's like, hello, I'd like to... they'd get the ick so fast with me, dude. Because I'd be walking in there knowing it. You know what I mean? I'd buy a leather jacket out of nowhere. I'd be pulling up in my Vespa scooter. The quickness in which I would mess that all up. It'd be freaking rapid fire, dude. It'd be rapid. Oh! This top comment here says, I'm sure bouncing between them is a terrible choice. And the top reply there says, ahaha, ahaha. Where's the X? Let's see. There it is. Yep. I've always worked in the service industry, and I'm currently a server. We have multiple hot guys. You are just her hot guy. She's flirting with you. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Yeah, this guy's gotta pace himself here. Because if he realizes he doesn't want to go for this person that he matched with, which is very silly, and you're leading somebody on and you're being immature about it, then you gotta be upfront right now. Regardless, matching in the first place, why are you no longer interested? What is that about? Ballsy move, bro. She might not even talk to the girl you think is hotter. That girl may be the only one that thinks you're rotted. Just perspective, but do you? Rotted? What does that mean? Rotted. Can somebody explain what rotted means? The word rotted is pretty self-darn explanatory. Okay. You're likely to hear it in Nova Scotia or Eastern Canada. It means when you're angry or disappointed or sad about something, then you're rotted. Okay, so you're sad? Ballsy move, bro. She might not even talk to the girl you think is hotter. That girl may be the only one that thinks you're rotted. What does that mean? They talk. They're friends outside of work as well, but definitely have decided not to initiate a pursuit. I think that's smart. Good to recognize risk versus reward, LOL. As long as if you get with the original girl, you don't spend your entire relationship fantasizing about her friend or cheating on her. Honestly, I think although her self-esteem may take a hit if you ditch her for the other chick now, it's far more humane than the alternative. Here's an interesting thing here, folks. This guy had an update, okay? It only has 3 upvotes on it, so it's like new. Hey, real quick, have you ever had this problem? You're out somewhere having a nice dinner, you decide to treat yourself to a tasty little margarita, and then the next morning, you feel like absolute trash? Well, for me, even if it is just one drink, that is what ends up happening. Ziotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. And it's this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. So just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Look, dude, fall is approaching, holidays are coming up, and I want y'all to be feeling all right the next day. Okay, we're grown-ups. All right, we have stuff to do. So click the link in the description to get 15% off your first order at checkout with free shipping. Plus, Ziotics offers a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're not satisfied for any reason, they will refund your money. No questions asked, dude. Big thanks again to Ziotics for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it, baby. Update, I posted this the other day after I matched with a girl that works at my local cafe. Had a note left on my coffee when I visited today. Swipe to see. The girl I matched with does not have a name starting with T. Have a good day. Mwah. Heart. T. Does that mean that the one that you find more attractive, their name starts with a T? Either way, you are wedging yourself in between two individuals, and you need to make a decision, and you need to make it a good one, because you might be in some deep doo-doo pretty soon. I'm not gonna lie. This comment here says, ah ha ha, ha 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 ha, ah ha ha, ha 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 ha. Dude, if you just matched with somebody and you already know that you're interested in someone else, you got to nip that in the bud. You have to deal with that, or you're going to be put in a really precarious situation in the future. So the sooner you fix that karmically, the better. Next story, Incompatible Personalities Speedrun. Hello, what's up? All right, we got a millennial here. We got somebody who likes looking at dog memes, cat memes. I get it. I understand it. Not a huge turnoff, but I immediately know who this person is. Not much. I'm rearranging my apartment and doing a terrible job at it. How are you? Channel your inner Tetris champion. You can do it. I'm very eepy today after leg day yesterday. Been taking a cat nap this afternoon and snorting creatine monohydrate. LOL. Cool. Okay. The gender doesn't really matter here, but it's very odd. I feel like if this is a guy, because taking creatine is very much a gym bro thing. Creatine is a substance that makes you look larger. It makes your muscles look more defined. It draws more water into the muscle tissue. And a lot of guys in the bodybuilding community or whatever take creatine. So women also take creatine, but I'm getting a sense that this is just an odd thing. EP, of course, meaning sleepy. This person says, EP? Yes, very EP. Yawn, snore. Oh, was that a typo? And then, they're giving him a chance. This person is hello, EP. I am against baby talk pre-relationship. Maybe don't introduce baby talk like upon your first time meeting somebody, because it could negate anything from happening. Right, it could stop things. This person here, they go, oh, was that a typo? Nah, just some meme humor that I've adapted as a permanent part of my personality, LOL. Wonderful. That is a very wonderful and interesting thing to do, to sort of press upon a stranger, isn't it? Oh, you seem like you're probably a really nice person, but I think that's going to get on my nerves. Thank you, though, for trying to foster a connection. That's expert level, I think. You know what? We got somebody who's honest with themselves. They're honest with how they feel. They're sharing that. They're cutting you off early. They're like, hey, you know what? I don't think this is for me. And I think that's fair, because this guy's doubling down. Yes, very EP. This reminds me of like those couples in high school that are, wearing chains, and they're very emo, and they got black eyeliner together, and they're just kind of cuddling next to each other and nuzzling each other's necks. That's the kind of relationship that this guy, I think, is used to. Which, again, fine, valid, deep connection, great connection. But to a complete stranger, I don't think you can open with that, my friend. This person said, yeah, if it's that easy to get on your nerves, then I'd rather not. Haha. I figured I'd say I'm a silly goose, but I'd definitely put a damper on your vibe. You seem like a rainbow, and I actually really respect that. Take care. And then they responded with a rainbow. Little rainbow emoji. Forget the genders thing. Let's forget the genders thing. I don't know if you should open with baby talk, unless there's something like in their bio that makes you go, this is the person for me. This is somebody that I can just go whole hog at. Sure, But then again, maybe it's a great way to call the wheat from the cream? I don't know. I've never been on a farm. This top commenter says, that was a fantastic rejection you received. I wish her well. This ain't this girl's first rodeo dodging this kind of cringe. And this is 1,000 upvotes. Okay. This person here says, you would crush it at Reddit meetups. Try that instead of Tinder, perhaps. And Op replied, I prefer to hang out with people who take showers. To minus 400, they got negative 464 upvotes on that. You've got somebody who's opening with like cringe baby talk dialogue to a complete stranger. And then they come on Reddit for support. And then they reply with bashing the very platform that they're on. We have a reply here. You aren't giving women that vibe by talking that way. You're giving the exact opposite. Not sure why you seem to insist on speaking this way right out of the gate, but in the great words of Bo Burnham, if you want love, lower your expectations. That is wild. Cool, you just convinced everyone here that yours is an incompatible personality type. Ay. You know, putting yourself out there is one thing, but then not getting the result you want and then just like lashing out at different platforms or different types of people. It's a really silly way to live your life, I think, but who am I to judge, you know? Brother really out here being a 31-year-old using Henlo as an opener and just throwing EPs out there. 31-year-old male cosplaying as a 10-year-old girl. This person says, my God, you sound unbearable. Not gonna lie, every single thing you said in this exchange is hella weird. Henlo, what's up with 40 Ps? Inner Tetris champion, EP, snorting creatine, double down on the EP, permanently adapted meme humor. If it's that easy to get on your nerves, I don't know if it's as much incompatible and more that you're going to have a hard time finding adults that also talk this way. The only time I'm using the word EP is in an established relationship. Otherwise, I'm leaving that to myself. And I mean friendship too, established friend. Like, all right, man, I'm going to bed. I'm kind of EP right now. Yeah, I'm kind of, like it's a bit. Use it as a bit, you know, not as a real means of initially communicating with somebody else. That is God for say. Give me all this God for what is up with that? What is that about? What is that about? This sounds risky. Right? We've stumbled upon a Tinder profile that the user thinks is risky. Let's find out what they think is risky. Disclaimer. I am in a serious relationship, but he's incarcerated, so I'm looking for companionship until he comes home. You better hope he's not on Tinder too. Why would somebody be on Tinder in prison? Why would that be a thing? What am I thinking? I'm being very silly. This top comment says, briefly dated a girl in college who had an ex that was in jail. One night we were hanging out at my house with some of my friends. Everyone's just chilling, smoking some of that ganjaroni. She pulls out 2 ecstasy pills and says, which one should I take? As I'm in the middle of saying, maybe neither, we're all just smoking, she yells, both, and tosses them in her mouth. Spent the rest of the night babysitting her as she bounced in and out of consciousness. She ended up ghosting me a few days later when her ex got out of jail. I was pretty okay with that. And this replier says, you dodged a bullet. Honestly, this is a pretty crazy story. So I guess what they're trying to bring to the equation is that somebody who has someone who's incarcerated, they're not in a great mental state is what I think is the essence of this person's story. Or maybe, you know, maybe it's best to just stay away from that type of person. I don't know. That's what I'm gleaning from this furry bumhole cover. It's just what I'm cleaning, okay? Fellas, time to get those false identities dusted off and few new burner phones. The name Cranston Snord is always unassuming. Who wants to take a ride on the murder train? Anyone? Okay, all right. So we're getting a lot of people thinking maybe don't do this. Maybe don't get in there, you know. But this person wants companionship. You know, what's that about? Does that mean you're in an open relationship? Has it been agreed upon that you're in an open relationship? Because that's an interesting thing. You know, hey, just so you know, while you're incarcerated, I need some companionship, okay? If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that too. No, that's not what's happening. Clearly what's happening is this person is just trying to get somebody next to them that they can bond with, that they can experience life with together until their actual significant other gets out of prison. So they are playing somewhat of a dangerous game, I would say. This comment here is really funny. It says, ask for how long he's going to be in. This person's interesting. They say that this is an old scam. I have no idea what the angle is, but I used to see so many accounts with this and one other variation copy-pasted in the bio. My guess is you flirt with him online and then the boyfriend gets out and tries to extort you. So she'll be like, oh, you better pay me this much money or like my man is going to yada yada. Okay, got it. All right. I met someone like this. After my shift, I decided to head to a bar around the corner for their happy hour. This chick was there and we started chatting. The vibe is great at first. Then she mentions things would work out really great because her dude said he doesn't mind her dating women while he's incarcerated. Okay, all right. This thread assumes he's in prison for a violent crime. I am more of a mind to avoid this just because this is probably a cheater and I do not like cheaters. The op replied, she also had a black tear tattoo, LOL. What does a black tear tattoo usually mean? Let's find that out. In West Coast United States gang culture, the tattoo may signify that the wearer has killed someone. All right. Yeah, maybe swipe whichever direction means no on that one. Hey, new story up here says, I know, I'm amazed that I'm still single too. So he starts out with, well, hey there, gorgeous. Hey, blank, how's it going? Much better now that I'm chatting with you. Corny. How's it really going? Okay, what we have here is a lady who does not like small talk. And her 3 emojis of corn, calling him corny, is a challenge. She's initiating a challenge to the gentleman. A common thread that I see whenever I browse these subreddits is that a lot of these people are just looking for entertainment. And so when they double down, they're like, no, how's it really going? What she wants you to say is, you know what? Work this week sucked. You know, I got yelled at by my boss, and he came in and he told me to make extra chocolate. That doesn't make any sense because we don't make chocolate here. We fix computers. My boss came in, he told me to make a bunch of chocolate for the orphans. And I've never made chocolate in my entire life. So she goes, corny, how's it really going? Shitty now that I'm chatting with you, ? So he's playing the opposite of much better now that I'm chatting with you. And she goes, that's not the right answer either. Oh my God. And then he said, weird to think there's a right answer. All right, we got a guy here who just, immediately turned off by the challenge she brought to him, which makes sense. He's not here to play games. He's here to go on a freaking date. People laugh in a lot of different ways. People laugh at different things. And people flirt in different ways too. Her flirting is like almost negging him, and she's like, come on, cornball, how's it really going? And he's like, screw you. Let's see what the comments here say. She was saying corny to his response and then asked again, in my opinion. Oh my God, I didn't even get that. I thought they were trying to say something sexual with the corn, LOL. Oh. Yeah, like TikTok speak, corn equals the P word. Just tell her, how's it going, dude? I think the right answer would be where you talk about how it's going so the conversation can develop into something instead of pickup lines once she's already been picked up. I see. So much better now that I'm chatting with you is a bit of a pickup line. He's not really answering the question, how's it going? She wanted you to be genuine instead of trying to be charming. Every single line you wrote is ridiculous. Okay, so everybody in the audience here, everybody in the responses are saying, just be genuine. I think this is just a misfire. Misfire on this guy's part. Because he's never experienced this. He's never been called out for being disingenuous. Not that he's disingenuous, but he's never been called out for giving like kind of a pick-up-y type answer. So, well, now he's being called out by all of Reddit. She wanted to husk your corn, brother. I don't think that's what that meant. I'm surprised she responded to the first message, to be honest. Well, hey there, gorgeous. What is this, a country western? What in tarnation? I wouldn't have called out that it was corny, but your response would have made me cackle. But yeah, your line is really overused, LOL. Men watching this, women, they have so many more reps than we do on the dating apps, okay? So many more. And so if you think you're being unique and original by responding with a pickup line like much better now that I'm chatting with you, you're not. Your best case scenario is to be somewhat direct and conversational and like actually speaking from your own experience, Maybe not with the henlo and the eepies, maybe not that. I think there's a middle ground to where you can talk to a stranger in a way that you would talk to a stranger without throwing henlos and eepies in there and a bunch of peas in your WhatsApp and without just being, a pick-up-y, cheesy shmir. They want realness. People are actually looking for connection. People are looking for realness. And you weren't giving it to her, and she called you out on it. So I'm confused. You think she's the a-hole because you don't know how to have a conversation? You hit her with the most corny, lame pickup line ever, which she brushed off and asked for a legitimate response, and then you seemingly got offended and hit her with a lame attempt to be snarky? What was she even supposed to say to your original response? Oh my God, thank you. I've never heard that before. Let's go out right now. You're the one. And then this person got minus 20 upvotes. They said asking the most bland, dead-end question and then insulting him. I think how's it going isn't really a dead-end question, is it? How's it going? If I were to be asked how's it going right now, how would I answer? I'd be like, good. I had a really good weekend. I went to the beach. I got a tan. Well, you can't tell, but I'm maybe half a shade darker than I was 2 days ago. I don't even know how's it going. You know what? Let me ask you all, how's it going? Huh? How's it going? Let me know. Found my first boyfriend from the 3rd grade. We have a date on Friday. Okay, here we go. So we got this guy petting a cat, I think, or something. And then this person here says, I swear we went to elementary school together, LOL. Where did you go? Blank. If I'm wrong, I'm thoroughly embarrassed. Think about me. I went to so many elementary schools and middle school. My parents were traveling nurses, so I would move every 6 months or a year to somewhere new, so I was always the new kid. I envy people who have great memories of their elementary school friends or people who've had friends since elementary school. That's insane. Where did you go? Blank. If I'm wrong, I'm thoroughly embarrassed. Oh yeah, I went there for 3 grades. I don't know how you can remember that. You must have had a crush on me or something. You were my first boyfriend, LOL. So your full name isn't? Then we cross paths again on MySpace. Blank, my pen name for writing. It's blank. My memory sucks. Yeah, I remember your full name, LOL. How funny. And your friend something, I think. Let's call her Michelle, I think. Yeah, sorry, we chat for a bit on MySpace, but then you said don't get creeped out, but I want to touch your hair. I got creeped the F out. I was so shy back then. I was 19. That's right when I broke out of my shyness. To be fair, I had some really nice hair. Yeah, I remember Michelle, I guess, LOL. Zero female experience. I believe you, LOL. Well, here's my number if you want to give this another go. Crazy. Phone number. I just have so many questions, haha. I love this because they've already met before. They've known each other since kids. And at the very least, this is an interesting opportunity to catch up with somebody you haven't seen in years. I think that's pretty cool. Worst case scenario is that you're just gonna catch up. You're gonna compare notes on how life has been. I think that's always cool. To where, hey, if this doesn't work out romantically, it could be a cool friendship. That's great. Let's see what the comments here say. I hope he gets to touch your hair this time. Op says for sure with this Fabio cow. I'm trying to come up with a pun for this cow with hair. Best I got right now is Fabi Moo, but that's just lame. It's just sad and bad. This happened to me with a guy, but on Facebook. We're married now, LOL. And then just a little Jeremy Renner smiling. The guy I lost my virginity to in high school moved to another state and we lost touch, heartbreak. A few years later in college, this guy approaches me after class and he's like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. It was him. I was enamored. He was a pilot and took me flying around the city. Anyway, we ended up at his place and it was just disappointing. Just saying, don't get too excited. But you were already with him. So how is it disappointing now if you already... I'm so confused. Regardless, this is a very cool story. Sometimes things just feel fated, especially if you stick around in the town that you've been in your whole life. You know what I mean? God, it's so interesting to me, people who stick around in the town that they grew up in. I almost envy that. I really do, because you have such a huge network of people you've known for decades. People you've been building relationships with since literally elementary school. That's got to be a nuts feeling, doesn't it? What's that like? I wonder, But good for her. I hope it works out. I really do. Next story. A train wreck I haven't unmatched from yet. Hey, handsome. Sup, Smoke Show? Where you get all that pretty from? That's funny. I like this. Haha, that's a good one. Thanks. If I can be so forward, I'm really digging your hairy chest in one of your pics. I didn't realize I had one. I mean, it's a little bit, no? That last pic, a hairy chest. Okay. He responds with, I just went through and saw I did post a bit. That's what I was thinking when I swiped on you. All right. They are flirting. This is a stage 5 flirt sesh. They are moments away from a beautiful joining of wet and slimy bodies. We don't need to say that. Okay. Whereabouts do you live? I'm in blank. And then he responds, I'm in blank with, I think, a phone number. I don't know what this is. A phone. He tried to call her on the app. I don't know. I do try to stay on the app until after we first hang out. Would love to meet up and get to know you more. You free anytime this weekend? She is setting a date for y'all to meet and hang out. And he goes, Saturday maybe. She goes, okay, cool. I'm free after 5 that day. What does that mean? All right, cool. How about I pick you up at 6? Or I pick you up at 5:30 at this place. Or how about we meet at blank? How about y'all meet at a restaurant, right? That's the whole thing, isn't it? I'm free after 5 that day. I have weird hours, period. What does that mean? Does that mean you don't know if you're free? Well, you're saying maybe. I guess you're saying maybe. Okay, that's understandable. Is it that weekends don't work? Well, just know I want to hang out whenever you do find time. She's saying, I want to hang out. Let us hang out. Let's have a little hangout. Huh? She wants to know what that's about. You pick it up what I'm putting down, stranger? You picking it up? She want to know what that's about.
She wants to know what that is about. She wants to know what
So my schedule for this last bid is Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday off. I'm off at around noon on Saturday. Okay, and I'm sure you want rest on some of those days too. Rest? Yeah. Unfamiliar with that word. Or not? Oh, ha ha ha, I see. Ha ha! So we got a guy who's like, yeah, I guess I could be off on Saturday. I don't know. He's a little bit, if I can use this phrase, he's pussyfooting around a little bit. She gave him availability. All he has to do right now, all he's got to do is set a time and a place. That's it. That's all this man has to do. She has given him the opening. Okay? She's locked in. Ha ha ha. I see. She's locked in. I don't like opening this app. You can block me at any point in time. So I think he's trying to be like, take my number. I think he's trying to give her his number for some reason. It's really important to him that she has his number. She goes, yeah, I understand. I don't want that. Only social media I have is Snapchat. Ew. Snapchat. I don't use it often at all, but I don't like giving my number out too soon. Unfortunately, have had a bad experience with that. That is her second warning. He says, it's all good. I want you to feel safe. And then she says, I want to feel you. He goes, ha ha, Caterpillar, you're terrible. Winks, ha ha ha. She's ready to go. She's giving you all the signals, dude. What is that about? How are you not leaping at this opportunity? What else are you on this app for, dude? You're terrible, wink, ha ha ha. It's not funny. Oh, why? It's small. She goes, what is small? I mean, do you want to hang out with me in that way? I'd like to. So he's saying it's small. He's talking about his ween, I think. So what is small? In response to that, he goes, my attraction to you. You're on some goofy style. You can call me Sar. Okay, what's happening now? Something has changed in this conversation. Something has changed. The vibe is different now. She goes, haha, that's funny. All good though. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. All right. So she's, him saying what's small is his attraction to you is that's not nice. You're on an app. You matched. All good though. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That way I at least know you're a female. I don't know what's happening. This feels like when you're typing in predictive text on iPhone and you just keep hitting the center thing. I don't know what he said. It's just word salad at this point. She goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you think I'm a dude over here? Your attraction to me is small. I think that's hilarious. Minuscule. What's going on? Well, then why did you match with me? He says, same reason you matched with me. That was at 5:20. Later at 6:40, he goes, lady, what are you wilding about? And then later he says, are you done being a bully? She says, you're so confusing. Has he lost touch with reality? Something's off. He's like completely disconnected from reality here. She goes, you're so confusing. He goes, I wouldn't be if you just talked to me. And she goes, I'd talk to you if you had something interesting to say. Yeah, this guy is really weird. I saw a comment down here that I think might be it. It's like this guy is actually 2 or 3 stoners passing the phone around and taking turns typing. This I actually believe. Because some of these other comments here are like, what the F did I just read? What just happened? It seemed like y'all were getting along and then he turned into a total effing asshole. He liked her until she expressed a boundary. This happens so freaking much. It's infuriating. If that's true, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Like that's insane that she can just be like, no, I don't like giving my phone number out. So what? Big whoop. You're going to meet up anyway. You impress her in person. She gives you her phone number. That's it. There's no, nothing changes physically. You're still meeting. You're going to be you're already in contact with each other. What's the difference? Unless you need to FaceTime with somebody before meeting up in person just to verify that, it's safe or whatever. But dude, she was going whole hog at you, man. She was saying, I want to feel you. That's the biggest green flag. That's the biggest go ahead, proceed flag I have ever seen in any of my readings on Tinder, ever, dude. And then he just implodes. He just can't handle it. He implodes and potentially gives his phone over to his friends who ruin it for him. He's like, yeah, I'm flirting with this girl. Anybody want to take over and just ruin this for me? Jeez Louise, what is that about? You were literally setting up a hookup and bro got mad. Exactly. I'm just a chick on the apps trying to get laid. It shouldn't be difficult, but you'd be surprised. Case in point, like this post. And then this has negative 45 upvotes here, but we're going to read this conflicting opinion. It says, I think that's exactly the point here. You're being so forward. He is getting suspicious. I thought you were a guy too at first. It is very unusual for women to show interest in men on dating apps at all, and you going straight to the point is quite suspicious. So when you declined to call, he was like, okay, this is 100% a guy, and stopped caring. You know what? This has minus 45 upvotes, which means that most people disagree with that guy. But if you don't have a lot of experience on the apps, like me personally, I don't. Like the most I've ever been on the apps is 2 weeks before I got into a relationship. And so I don't know, but I would be a little suspicious just in general with any advances unless for me personally in my life, I need to FaceTime somebody. Like with Eva, we had a FaceTime phone call before we met in person. We had to. Because I'm like, I need that assurance that you're okay, I'm okay. Is it going to be worth our time, like having an initial meetup? But that's me and, just the way that I personally feel safe. But I think here, like, I could see a world where guys are a little suspicious if they're not used to women coming onto them in that way. I don't know. Because, like, the ratio is much different. Like, women on these apps get significantly more likes and matches than men do, and it's just like the nature of the apps, And so women have a lot more reps than the guys do, and so the guys aren't able to see people approaching them with sincerity, with sincere, like, wants and needs, like, hey, man, I want to feel you up. You know what I'm saying? A guy would go, huh? How can he fumble this bad? Jesus. Seriously, dude was spoon-fed multiple opportunities, LMAO. Feels like he wasn't there to date or even just hook up, but I cannot figure out whatever weird ulterior motive he otherwise might have had. I think it's this. I think he just got sussed out, and then he stopped caring, and he just handed it to other people. That's my guess. He, like, didn't buy it. I don't know. Let's see what the replies to this say. Bruh, this is why women aren't sexual on dating apps. This, being that men are suspicious and they're weird. Man, why do y'all waste so much time talking to these bums? I'm not wasting time in that I don't expect this to recover. I'm like talking to 5 other matches at the same time, so it's not like all of my eggs are in this a-hole's basket. I get that, but the moment someone gets weird like that, I don't see a reason to keep chatting, especially if I know I'd never want to meet this weirdo. If you're talking to 5 better guys, presumably, why are you responding to him, LOL? Bro, you know what? People would just be curious out there in these streets, man. Curiosity kills the cat. Curiosity hopefully doesn't kill anybody. This is, oh my God, hopefully not. What's that about? You know what? We're going to call it there. Outro. No, we're not. Stop it. No. I need to say something uplifting and inspiring before I let you go. Let us all choose to be celibate forever. Outro. Yeah.